Now, I will discuss the item I discussed in the module 20, that is how a company can procure an asset. There are several ways. We shall take outright purchase versus lease. So, a company can directly purchase a machine or a company can acquire a machine through lease. In case of purchase, I will consider both, because in case of purchase you have to pay the amount. Now, there are two ways of financing. You can finance exclusively out of your own fund, or you can purchase by borrowing the fund. So, in this problem, I have considered the purchase out of own fund as well as purchase out of borrowed fund versus the lease, right? And if you remember the theory, once again it is the same, that is wherever my present value of the cash outflow is the lowest, I shall take that one. So, now first you try to grab the basic essence of the problem. The T Limited wishes to purchase a machine for 1 lakh, right? The cost of the machine is 1 lakh and its effective life is 5 years. And company has 3 options. What are the options? Company can purchase out of own fund. That means the company will pay 1 lakh straight away and acquire the machine. Second is, they can pay 25,000 as immediate payment, down payment, and for the balance amount, the company can arrange a loan at an interest of 9% per annum. And I shall take it's a simple interest, okay? And the principal is repayable at the end of 5 years. That means the company will repay this loan at the end of 5 years. And the third one is, the company can obtain by lease, by paying a lease rent of 30,000 per annum at the end of each year, and the lease management fees of 1,000 is payable. I wish to draw your attention of one thing which is very, very important. Please always be very attentive to that. When you are paying, if you are paying on the opening day of the year and if you are paying on the closing date of the year, your multiplying factor will vary, right? If it is on the opening of the year, there will be one factor. If it is on the closing of the year, this will be multiplied by another factor. So, when you get a problem, read it and try to understand when the payment has been made. If the problem remains silent, you can assume it, but here it has been specifically said that it is payable at the end of the year. I think I am clear. And interest is very simple. Interest is always payable at the end of the year. So, now you are given depreciation 15%, additional depreciation 20%, rate of tax 30.9%, discount rate is 10%, and your annuity factor is 3.79. Now, basically, I will say some about the annuity factor. Now, you will appreciate when the flow, maybe inflow or maybe the outflow, when the flow is different, you got to multiply it by the factors, related factors. But when the flow is same, suppose I have an outflow of 10,000 each year. So, 10,000 multiplied by x1, 10,000 multiplied by x2, 10,000 multiplied by x3, equivalent to 10,000 multiplied by x1 plus x2 plus x3. So, this is the annuity factor. Whenever the flow is the same, you can use the annuity factor. Now, go for the solution. Now, see, before I go into the option, first of all, try to understand the tax implication. What is the tax implication? Tax implication is if a company purchases an asset, the company can enjoy depreciation, the company can enjoy additional depreciation. And due to these two, you were saving some of the tax, because these two will be debited to your statement of PL, right? And that will reduce your profit. And so that is called tax benefit. So let first calculate the tax benefit on depreciation. So how to calculate this? We have you know that life of the asset is 5 years. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what is the depreciation for the first year? Normal depreciation is 15% and the additional depreciation is 20% in the very first year. So your total depreciation comes to 35%. So 1 lakh into 35% is 35,000, on which tax rate is 30.9%. So your tax savings is 35,000 into 30.9%, which comes to 10,815. And since you are charging depreciation at the end of the year, so your PV factor is 0.909 and the present value of the tax savings comes to 9831. In the second year, your depreciation will be 1 lakh minus 35,000, 65,000. 15% of 65,000 is 9750, right? On which you are getting a tax savings multiplied by 30.9% multiplied by PV factor, you get it. In the third year, you know that it is on the basis of WDV. So in the third year, 1 lakh minus 44,750 on which you are charging 15%. So like that we did the same and we got the figure 16,879, which is the tax benefit of depreciation on the entire life of the asset. Now we shall go for the options. In first option, the company has to purchase outright. So how much you have to pay? 1 lakh, the cost of the assets. And what benefit you are getting? By purchasing an asset, you can enjoy tax savings on the depreciation. It comes to 16,879. So what is the present value of cash outflow? 1 lakh minus 16,000, it comes to 83,121. Clear. Now second one, you have to pay 25,000 instantly and the balance you can go for a loan, that is 75,000, you can go for a loan, simple interest, which is repayable at the end of 5th year. So now one by one. First point of outflow is the initial payment. How much you are paying? 25,000. So initial payment is 25,000. Now you take a loan 75,000. Now when you are paying at the end of the 5th year. So 75,000 at the end of the 5th year, the present value factor is 0.621. So it comes to 46,575. Now the interest. And since you are repaying at the 5th year, so each year interest is the same because you are not repaying anything in between. So what is the interest? 75,000 into 9%, it comes to 6,750. Now whenever there is an interest, this is a very interesting point. Whenever there is an interest, once again you are getting a tax benefit because interest you will debit to the statement of profit and loss. So whenever you debit to the statement of profit and loss, your profit will decrease, right? So I will get a tax benefit. So 75,000 into 9% or 6,750. Actually, this is not my outflow. I'm giving a parallel example. I think that will be very simple to you. Suppose I am to pay someone 100. And there is an option. If I pay someone 100, I will get a benefit of 20%. So technically, I can say I pay 100, I get a benefit of 20. So 100 minus 20, my actual outflow is 80. In the same fashion, whenever I pay interest, I get a tax benefit. So I am deducting the tax benefit from it, right? So it is 1.30.9 means my outflow is the balance. That is multiplied by 3.79 means I told you the annuity because this flow is the same. So I add 0.909, 0.826, blah, blah, blah. It comes to 3.79. And the present value of interest comes to 16,678 and the total is 89,000 something. And whenever I purchase an asset, it's not important whether I pay out of my own pocket or I finance out of my loan, I will get depreciation. So depreciation benefit is already calculated at 16,879. So present value of outflow comes to 72,374. Now the lease. Now in case of lease, what happens? Lease rent is tax deductible, but when you get lease, you won't get the depreciation. So now what happens? In the first year, I pay lease 30,000 plus 1,000 management fees. So I pay 31,000. And what is the tax savings? Since it is debitable to your SOPL, you get a tax savings, which I multiplied by 30.9, it comes to 9,579. And so how much is my actual cash flow? I am paying 31,000, but I am getting a benefit of 9,579. So ultimately, my cash flow is 21,421. This is multiplied by the 909, I get 19,472. And for the other years, your outflow is same. So I use the annuity concept, 2.881. So I multiplied by this 2.881 and I get 59,723. So my total cash outflow is 79,195. And mind it carefully, here you won't get the tax, you won't get the tax benefit on depreciation because it's a leased assets, you won't get the depreciation. I have shown an alternative way, a simple way which you can also calculate it. The first year it is 31,000 multiplied by 1.30.9%, and for the others it is the annuity factor, so directly you can go for that, like what I did for interest, right? So you can also get in a simpler terms. So I have three values. One is 83 something, one is 72 something, one is 79 something. So now what the company will do? Definitely company will go for the B, where the present value of the cash outflow is the minimum, which is 72,374. I think the things are clear to you. You try to do of your own. Okay.